Hi, everyone. This is the first podcast episode I have ever done, so I am not really sure exactly what I'm doing, but we're here.
Hi.
This is Ashley. Ashley's wearing a freaking awesome shirt right now. Do you want to introduce yourself?
It's a shirt with a bunch of seals.
Love.
I like seals a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I know Ashley because we met in Ecuador. She went on like one of my first ever trips that I had. And we've been inseparable ever since. And now she's one of the bridesmaids at my wedding. So we've
So
gotten
excited.
really, really close. Something that I really love talking with Ashley about is that she's obsessed with seals and she knows everything in the world that you need to know about seals. She's super, super passionate.
You can say that, yeah.
Yeah, and we were gonna kind of chat today a little bit about the crazy seal stuff that's been going on. I'd love to know a little bit more about it.
Yeah. I moved to San Diego because I'm obsessed with seals. And so in La Jolla, there's a lot of conflict happening with, it's mostly the sea lions at the moment because it's sea lion pup season. But seal pup season happens and the beach that they're on, called the Children's Pool, is closed for the months of their pup season, which is amazing. But for the sea lions, it is not. And it's a lot harder for the sea lions and the seals because they nurse for almost a year. They can't swim when they're first born. It takes them a few months. You know, they're learning how to swim now. A lot of them are stronger swimmers, but they can't hold their breath super long. So they're basically 100% dependent on their mom. And with all of the people at the cove, it happens to be that their pup season is also the summer when there's all the tourists and it's extremely busy. So what happens is with the pup sport at the cove. So there's a beach. It's like the cove, and then there's like a rookery. Like there's like caves and rocks and stuff where people can't go. So the pups that are born up there have a much higher success rate in survival compared to the ones born on the beach with all of the people.
So the beach is open. So that's the problem. The beach is
The beach
open
is
all year long.
open all year round.
Oh,
So what typically happens, what is the main issue is that the moms will abandon their pups because there's so many people at the beach. So what happens is they nurse for so long, they go out to hunt for up to, it's like a day, it could be 2 days, we wait up to 72 hours before we would say that a pup is abandoned. So they would go and then come back. They leave their pups on the beach, with all the other pups. It's like a little area with a bunch of pups, and they come back to then feed again and everything. But if there's too many people crowding around, they're going to deem that unsafe. They're not going to come back. Or if you get super close, which some people do, you get really close, they get touched or something like that, the mom's going to come back and not recognize her pup by scent, which is how they recognize each other because
mhm.
they all look alike. They'll go search for each other and then they'll put their little noses together, and that's how they will be like, "Oh, that's my pup." The thing about sea lions is they have one pup a year, and if it's not their pup, they're not going to let them feed because they have enough
They
milk
don't
for
like
that one pup.
adopt at all.
If a pup's abandoned, it's really sad. I'll go up to a bunch of moms and try to feed, but trying to nurse, but they're not going to let them.
So people are interacting with the seals and the sea lions like on the beach, and like
Right.
obviously
They'll go
there's
get
ways
super close to get, mostly to get pictures, or they'll be snorkeling, which isn't as much of a problem when they're in the water. That's sort of their territory. Like when they're swimming around, they can just quickly swim away. They're a little more curious in the water, but when they're on land, they're hauled out. They need to be on land. They need to regulate their temperature. They need to rest. They need to nurse, and that's when they get like disturbed. And then another thing is like they'll get scared and then they'll go back in the water, which if they're too young, that's a big problem. And also they're just using, their calories and energy that they should be not using yet, because they do need like at least 10 hours like called out resting a day.
Yeah, I'm assuming I know if I know humans, they're going there specifically to see the seals and sea lions, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the biggest tourist attractions
I
in San
get
Diego.
it because it's cool to see them in the wild, but also it's like disturbing them at this point.
Right. And most people that are there because they really like sea lions and they're, they don't realize what they're doing is harming them. And those people, when we are there and like educate them, they're very nice to like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, of course, they'll move back.
Hmm. Do you think
There
it's
are
okay for
viewing
people to just
spots.
go there still? Like, just go there and like observe if they're doing it respectfully? Do you think that still bothers?
Yeah, absolutely. There are like viewing spots, like where you can
Okay.
see them without actually going down onto the beach.
But people will
Um,
just go down onto the beach anyway, to where they're not really supposed
right,
to. Okay.
right. And there are signs. There's a good amount of signs that are like, stay this amount of feet away, and that it's the Marine Mammal Protection Act. It's a marine protected area, so it is illegal
Okay.
um,
That's good.
to do the harassment, but
A lot of people
there's
wouldn't
just
even
not a
view
lot
it
of
as
enforcement.
harassment. I think that's the problem too.
Right. And there are situations which are very clearly harassment where there'll be kids like throwing sand at a sea lion or people going down there at night with their flashlights and things like that. But there's no there's not a lot of enforcement that actually happens.
Mm.
So as much as someone can be like, hey, please don't do that, they're not
So
always gonna listen.
this something like that you see? Because I remember a few months ago when we were talking about like making this podcast, I had sent you a video of someone on Instagram who was like snorkeling, or I don't know if they're scuba diving. I think they were like free diving, but they were free diving, and it was very kelpy, and there was like a seal right there. And I was really surprised because by your response, because you're like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. And I thought, okay, I was confused. So I was like, okay, this seal is in the wild. Like, I thought he just kind of like stumbled upon him. Like, I wasn't like exactly sure. So, how do you tell that like online with the seal stuff?
So it's harder online. The reason that I say that that was bad is because he went from the beach that was supposed to be closed at the time for sea lion pup or seal pup season to get into the water there.
How do you know it was
Mm,
there? If
just
it's just
from like
there.
I've seen a lot of videos from there. Like I've
Okay.
seen that person specifically as someone that is on our radar of someone that doesn't listen to.
Mm,
Um,
that's
there's a
unfortunate.
rope
And
like for
he's a big
yeah,
wildlife creator too.
for seal pup season. It's called the children's pool. There's a rope there that is supposed to make sure people don't enter the water from that beach because that's where the seal pups and the moms are hauling out. And that's a huge success that it's close like that. But there are always the people that don't listen to that.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're in the water and you encounter a seal, that's not a problem. I've done that. Many people do that. The issue there is just how he got into the water.
Mm. So that's tea though that that guy is on like your like watch list because he's
Yeah,
literally like in like someone on Instagram that you'd be like, oh, this person really cares about wildlife and is like always posting about wildlife. It's like that
yeah.
is so misleading.
Yeah, there's a lot of accounts and things like that that post at the Cove and they're super close to the sea lions and they're saying like this is a great activity to bring your kids to do, and they're just being completely disrespectful. So
So
it's a bit misleading.
so yeah, I mean, there's a big difference in going to appreciate them and like, cause I would want to go see them if I was in California. I'd want to do it
Well, yeah, and I would
respectfully.
absolutely take you to go see them. Like
Yeah,
I go there all the time. I mean, I go there mostly to volunteer now, but like before I was doing that, and you can watch from a distance.
yeah,
You also can, use the zoom on your camera. People don't really realize that. They'll just put their phone right up to their faces, and it's not necessary.
yeah. So, what would you like suggest if like you're online and you see like some kind of social media post and it has like a seal or a sea lion in it? Like, what are the red flags where you're like, okay, nope, like this is like they crossed a line, or like this is where it's getting bad?
Yeah, so I would say the biggest thing is just like the distance that they are from the seal or the sea lion. But there's also a lot of context because, like, say they're like in the Galapagos, like we were,
Yeah, I was gonna say I
and
have a video in the Galapagos where that baby
right,
seal walked right over to me. If you remember
right,
that, that
and
was
like that's a totally different situation,
to that,
right?
or is that damaging, you know?
That's the hard part with social media and posting with wildlife. Even if you are a professional and you're working with them, like you don't want to promote
Yeah.
like
Like you don't want to like
interaction
spark up
with
the
wild
illegal
animals.
wildlife trade.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's just something
It's
that
hard.
you need
It's
to
hard to
mention
know the
for. It's
boundaries.
hard, yeah.
I feel like I'm like learning still. I'm a zoologist. I lead trips like full time and like creator. I would say like part time now creator. Like I
Yeah, you're a pretty
posted a
big
lot.
creator now.
Yeah. And there's still some things where like I look at my old stuff and I'm like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have posted that. And at the time, like I thought
Yeah.
I had enough context. I'll look at like other people's stuff and I just get confused. I'm like, so is this okay? Is this not? And I get like, and I always want to do what's best for wildlife.
Yeah, exactly. And things like adding like a caption. Like I know there's some people that post a lot of pictures of like the seals and the sea lions, and they'll put a caption. It's like viewed from a distance, like
Right.
using like the like a big zoom lens, which is I think very helpful to have that kind of context for people.
Yeah.
But also there's people that are
Zoologist in certain
exactly,
circumstances.
but people will comment and be like,
I want one.
yeah,
I
like
hate
can
that.
where'd you get that? Where'd you buy that? Like, no.
Usually, if I start seeing any kind of responses like that, I'm like, ooh, okay, I'm heading into that
Right.
territory. Like, this needs to be like taken down or like revised somehow and like have some kind of like disclaimer or something because
Yeah, yeah, a
not
disclaimer.
what we want to be doing.
Yeah, there's pictures I have with seals where I'm like, I don't know if I should post this. A lot of them though, I'm in like my PPE, like you can tell I have like gloves and like boots and all of the like waterproof stuff on where you can tell that it's not like a wild encounter. It's
Right. Right.
like
You can
a
tell it.
wildlife professional with
Right.
an animal as
Right.
opposed to like being out in the wild.
Yeah.
But then like there's also pictures of us like in Ecuador with sea turtles where we're just regular people. So it's like it
Yeah.
depends.
We weren't really in a uniform or anything, but we were doing like
Exactly.
turtle research. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where it can get a
It can get
little
hard, yeah. As soon as you see it, it's like zoologist, blah blah blah. So you see
exactly.
that and see it.
Yeah.
But again, like, yeah, it can be incredibly difficult and like,
Right.
yeah, it's hard. I also think though, like on the flip side, I think that if we avoid it altogether, it's no, that's never going to happen. And so,
Right.
like,
No, and it's stuff like that that makes people interested in wildlife and,
exactly,
want to go to zoos and support conservation and things like that. Like, I mean, I was living in Pennsylvania when I became obsessed with seals, and it was just from pictures. Like, I didn't have an ocean.
right,
I saw like so many pictures, and when I was a kid, and I was so obsessed with them.
right.
Um,
Or like
so
Steve Irwin, you know.
yeah,
Exactly. Like, will hot take, like, will I say every interaction he did to jump on random crocs is good? No, it's not. Like,
no,
but in hindsight, like looking back 20 years later, it's easy
right,
to say that. Where at the moment, like, the intent was to get people to inspire about wildlife and like care about
right, and it
wildlife.
worked
It
for
worked.
sure.
It worked.
Like,
That's why I do what I do. Like I loved watching like TV shows where he was talking about conservation and working with all the different animals. So I think it's dangerous to avoid it altogether too. So it's like
it is, yeah.
yeah, it's hard like trying to find that medium ground. It's a weird responsibility that I didn't realize that like we had, until after I graduated college and I really started like actually working with these animals and I was like, "Oh, this is like really complex."
Right. And the thing is that the reason that a lot of tourists are getting so close is just they want to get pictures and they want to get a picture with them extremely close to a sea lion. And those people sometimes aren't very nice when you try to say, oh, can you please move back? You're, disturbing the sea lion. Though close enough to try to touch them and things like that. That is really not beneficial for the animal.
Could you explain maybe to anyone who's listening about like how it's not beneficial to the animal.
Yeah, of course. So they're stressed. Humans, to them, we're causing them stress. If they're looking at you and all of that while they're trying to rest, they're trying to just be, in the wild, it causes them stress no matter what. So, especially I'm talking like seals and sea lions, but I mean all animals, especially things like at the same area, people are like feeding all the birds and stuff. There's a lot of wild birds in La Jolla. There's a very large amount of birds. People will be feeding like bread and like random seeds and things, and that's just not their diet, and that's something that's also not good for them.
Yeah,
There's also signs, that say that as well.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say,
Um,
fun fact, anyone who's listening, never feed a duck or like any kind of bird bread because it's super bad for them and it like
so bad for
explodes
them.
in their stomach essentially.
Right, and then they can't eat, then they have
It's really bad.
nutrition, and yeah, it's really bad. But I've seen people even trying to like feed the seals and the sea lions, which, newsflash, they eat fish.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're not going to find bread and seeds out in the ocean.
Not only that,
So
but it would be like it could be dangerous too. Like I remember when
yeah,
we were in the Galapagos, I worked with seals and sea lions before, and like I worked with one, his name was Bodega, and he was like 800 pounds and
yeah,
pure muscle. And like, even though he was blind, I would never mess with him in general, but like, I would say
yeah,
he's very intimidating. And I remember when we were in the water in Galapagos, we were just swimming in the ocean, and then all of a sudden, some sea lions like came over to us. That's just how the Galapagos
yeah,
is, by the way. It's
yeah.
pretty like,
But
feels like heaven.
I mean, in the water here too, that's how it is too. Like they're
Really?
very curious. Like they will come up to you and like they'll be friendly. But there are the big males that are there, for breeding and protection. Like they're not the friendliest.
Do
It's
you?
really crazy because at this time right now it's breeding season, which coincides with pup season. So like right after that, breeding season happens. So there's a lot of big males in the area, and people will just have like their little kids walking up to these huge, like almost 1,000-pound males, and it's shocking to me because
Yeah.
that's a wild animal. Like,
They're extremely dangerous. They have a
right,
wide.
there's so many videos of like one like coming up to people like trying to be like, hey, like get out of the way, move, and people like scurrying away, and people will comment like that's the humans beach, like just like awful things about sea lions and how their population is too big and they're stealing all the fish, and that's just, it's not true,
Right.
like scientifically. So
No.
um yeah, no, it is crazy because people will be there with their kids, and they'll get in dangerous situations, and they aren't really doing anything about it. Like,
Yeah.
to me, going up to a huge male sea lion,
800 pounds every
very dangerous.
like
Very dangerous.
yes.
Like any wild animal,
Yeah, and
it hasn't like
they have
really
like
happened.
razor like teeth, don't they like lash
Right.
their
It
skin?
hasn't like happened recently or anything,
Yeah.
but they're capable of it.
Oh
But they
yeah. Any
they'll
animal
also
can.
give you a warning of like coming up close to you, just kind of being like, please move.
Yeah.
And if you don't listen to that warning, that's, not their fault.
I remember when we were in the water in Galapagos, and we were just swimming, and then all of a sudden, like this little young female, like sea lion, like came from out of nowhere and kind of like approached us and was like swimming around, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, look!" And we were just kind of like watching her, but like swimming, and then all of a sudden,
Yes.
the big male came over. Do you remember that? That was so scary. Um,
Right.
because
Because
he went
she's just
over.
kind of curious, looking
Oh yeah,
around, and
and
he's,
then he
looking out for her. You never know.
yeah.
So,
He was like showing his mouth. He was like, remember? I remember
mhm.
you ran out of the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he like followed you up. It was crazy. We got out of
Yeah,
the water really
he's
fast.
protecting him, and that, as
Yeah,
he should be. We
as you
have
should.
one
Yes.
that is basically the whole day. So, like, his name is Tank. There's a lot of males, but this one specific male there, people have named Tank. He basically all day, he's just swimming around, just like protecting, basically just barking, like screaming. which is he's either telling people, hey, please move away from, my babies and my
Yeah.
females, or trying to, make sure other males know, hey, this is my beach, this is mine, don't come for me, like,
Yeah.
because they'll fight for mating and for like that piece of beach that has, you know, their females and their babies and all of that. So
Yeah. That's cute. I like the name Tank. Yeah, so yeah, it's complicated for sure, but when you know you cross the boundary, and it can be really hard online. Like when you see videos like that, I know like everyone's sharing. Like my
yeah,
aunt, like she knows my stance on everything. She knows I'm a zoologist, but she'll still send me like videos of like monkeys in clothes as pets and like people going up to sea lions and on the beach and taking selfies or
right.
like not in a good way but like in a ooh day with me it can be really difficult especially when you see those posts get so many interactions.
Right. When they go viral and
Oh
it's
my
like,
God. As professionals we know how damaging it is to everyday people. They're just like who don't necessarily think much maybe into the post or anything. Like animals aren't their life, which is fine, but they might look at that and be like, "Oh my gosh, so cute," and then
like,
like it
so
gets
cute. Like,
so
I'm so jealous. I wish that was me. How do I
yes.
do this? How do I go there?
And we just need to figure out a way where we can like make being respectful to the animals the new norm and like that be the cool thing.
That would be great. I mean, videos like that also go very viral too. Like people,
No,
you know,
I
that are
try.
doing the right thing or like telling people to do the right thing. So,
I try and do content like mostly like that, where it's like if it's not factual, it's like about the ethics side of things, and they
right.
do get some traction, but it's nothing compared to unfortunately,
Right.
compared to the going up and interacting with the sea lion type of video, which I absolutely hate.
Right.
Um,
But a video that went super viral recently in La Jolla was, have you seen the one where there's an 18-year-old? He's kicking the sea lion. So there's like a sea wall area. So the sea lion was hanging out at night. It was midnight, and there are some drunk 18-year-olds. So he's an adult. And he's kicking at the sea lion. He's like going like this. He's like kicking at him. He kicked him 4 times.
no, he
Um,
actually kicked him.
yeah. Yeah. So it went really, really
Was
viral.
it like a
And that was a really good thing because typically there's not a lot of response from things like that here. But he did plead guilty and he did have, a year in jail, a very big fine, and things like that. So that was a good thing that went viral.
I can't imagine just
With
like
people knowing, like, oh, that's absolutely horrible.
yeah, I can't imagine having the urge to just go up to an animal and like inflict harm.
Right. It's so mind-boggling to me. This kid grew up here. He's in college. Him and his friends, like the person filming, is laughing and like, it's really hard to see, but I'm really glad that something ended up happening because honestly, we were just worried that nothing would happen and that would just be another case of like showing people that there's no consequences when you do things like that. Um,
But was it
so
was it a young man? Like I can't imagine.
no, it was like a big male. It was like a decent sized male, like trying to just rest and sleep. Like they'll go up there to lay down. They'll even go like onto the sidewalk at night when there's supposed to be no people there.
Super ballsy because those big males are very intimidating.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
People are
But
so
that's, I mean, he thought it was really funny.
ugh, ugh, that's awful.
So yeah, there are people like that
I'm glad there's
out.
I'm glad there was consequences though. Like
And there was, yeah, I mean, there was a very overwhelmingly negative response to that, which is good. I mean,
well, thanks for like joining me on a call today and like just kind of stations we have like when we're just FaceTiming her and I and we're like, you know what, we should get this on a podcast. Like
absolutely.
talk about some things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I also like people. love to come to the cove, and there is a safe way and a respectful way to go look at the sea lions and the seals and everything. And, I'm not saying people shouldn't go there. I go there all the time. Tourists should definitely go there. What you shouldn't do is, get super close or anything like that. And that's easy to do. To listen to that, one little rule. You stay back, you still get to enjoy everything just from a distance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
hopefully that's what people get from this.
and I
Yeah.
think like humans do have this need to have like to touch everything.
Right. I would love to go up and just give him a little pet. Like,
Right.
I would love that.
We're not denying that.
I can't do that.
No, we
Uh,
couldn't do that.
but there's like cuteness aggression. I'm like, oh, I want to pick it up. I just want to like
I
touch
mean,
it.
you see her
But
shirt right now, everyone. Like,
I really like the baby. Look, like that's a little baby. I could never go up to that little baby.
yeah.
But
And that's, I think, the difference between like actually loving and caring about an animal.
right,
You can be infatuated with them and or like just even uneducated about it and just think like it's okay. But then like once you do know and like you learn about the ramifications of everything, that's
right.
actually loving and caring about an animal is when you choose to withhold that urge to go up and give it a kiss, right?
So hard. Like I've worked in like places where there's like, the cute little monkeys and like little, baby sloths, animals. Like, of course, I want to cuddle them and I want to, but also like they're wild animals and they need to be treated as such. Like in those cases, they were releasable. So, like,
Yeah,
you have to very much not do any human interaction, like as much as you can, because they're going to be released back in the wild. You don't want them to have any like human.
for sure. And
Um,
like there are some cases where like very rare where like an animal is in human care for the rest of its life and can't
of
survive
course,
out in the
yeah.
wild. And then like stuff like that can be okay depending on
Right, because you can do training and stuff so that you make sure that they're, okay with like the vets,
yeah,
with
exactly.
the all of that, because there are like, sanctuaries where animals do unfortunately have to stay forever because they're not able to be released.
Right.
And I think that people also don't realize like a lot of the time in like zoos and things like that where we're just like, oh, like free the animals. They're not going to survive. They're either born in captivity, they have some sort of ailment where they're not going to be able to survive, things like that, where it's better for them
Yeah.
to be around humans because they're going to need that care for the rest of their lives.
Well, that's a really good transition that you just did because the next episode is going to be Should Zoos Exist? And it's going to be all about the history, talk about the history. We'll talk about our perspectives, our experiences, our thoughts. Yeah. So stay tuned for the next episode and thanks for joining everyone.